Welcome back to another weekly roundup of cloud gaming news brought to you by yours truly. Remember, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest in cloud gaming, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next video, and of course, if you enjoy the content, give the video a like, it helps the channel out a lot. But for now, let's jump into this week's cloud gaming news. To start off with, we have a few Stadia stories to talk about this week, some news so big it was covered by mainstream media. Unfortunately, not for good reasons. Yes, to start off with, obviously the big news story is around Google's brand new Chromecast with Google TV, its shiny new user interface that lets users access over 6,500 apps, but Stadia isn't one of them. Google's own service. There were some rumors around this last week after images of the new Chromecast box leaked on Reddit and it didn't show the Stadia logo on the front, but Google have now officially confirmed that Stadia will not be supported on the new Chromecast until at least the first 6 months of 2021. So worst case scenario, we're talking 8 months away to gain access to their own app on their own hardware. Yeah. Now, if you did miss that part, it's probably because they did skip over it at the Google hardware event where it was unveiled, instead following up with a tweet after the event. At this point, we don't know the reason why Stadia isn't supported on the new Chromecast, with Google's tweet just making it sound like good news that they'll eventually get round to adding it. But the good news here is you actually can play Stadia on the new Chromecast if you sideload it yourself. This has already been tested out, and compared to some of the dodgy sideloads we've seen in the past, like on Android TV, the performance here seems to be fine. But for any tech novices, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and kind of goes against the idea of Stadia, which was a quick and simple way to access your games. So if you wanted to play Stadia on your TV, your options are keep using your Chromecast Ultra, and if you don't have one, Google stopped selling them separately now, but you can still get them as part of the $100 Stadia Premier Edition kit. Genius move. Or you just wait until sometime in 2021 for Stadia to be supported on the new Chromecast. However, it seems like their blocker is the performance of Stadia on Android TV, so once they fix it for the new Chromecast, technically it should also be fixed for Android TV. So just use your TV. Chromecast is redundant. On a lighter note, following a trend that I can get on board with is a number of free titles coming to Stadia Pro for October. This month, again, we got 6 free titles, which are Celeste, Human Fall Flat, Jotun, Superhot Mind Control Delete, Lara Croft Temple of Osiris, and the big one, which is Dead by Daylight. With Dead by Daylight, we also got a new feature called Crowd Choice. Crowd Choice is a voting system for viewers of a streamer who's playing a game on Google Stadia. So in Dead by Daylight, for example, if the streamer has crowd choice enabled, the viewers can choose whether they should be playing as a survivor or a killer. It's currently only available for Dead by Daylight, but will also be coming to Baldur's Gate 3 when it is released on Google Stadia on October 6th. And in our final piece of Stadia news, Stadia actually comes to iPhones and iPads. Kind of. Obviously, Apple hasn't suddenly caved on their terms of service and allowed streaming apps on board, but a new app available on the App Store called Stadium does make it possible to access Stadia on your Apple devices. I will leave a link in the description to a full setup tutorial from the guys over at Cloud Gaming Extreme. Next is a new week, which means new titles have been added to GeForce Now. So admittedly, a quieter week for GeForce Now with only 3 titles, but they have been delivering week after week for a while now with returning games and the free Epic Game Store games, so we'll cut them some slack. This week we have Blade and Soul, Dungeon Siege, and Spellbreak, which is a free game to claim on the Epic Game Store. As well this week, Nvidia confirmed that Watch Dogs Legion will be available to play on GeForce Now at its launch on October 29th. Next, unfortunately we don't have any new information to share on Amazon's newly announced cloud gaming service Luna. If you missed my previous explanation videos, I will link them here. What we're really waiting to find out about this service now is the price of the channels, the release date for the US and other countries, and honestly, we just want to see someone play it, and preferably not in a controlled demonstration with the world's greatest internet. We want to see a real world person playing it at home with their crappy internet, just like the rest of us. Which brings us to everyone's favorite time. It's the start of a new month, which means we have a plethora of free games available on various platforms. We've already talked about the free Stadia Pro games, but over on the Epic Game Store, we have a free game this week, which is Pikuniku, I think, from Devolver, which is literally described as helping peculiar characters overcome struggles, uncover a deep state conspiracy, and start a fun little revolution in this delightful dystopian adventure. Okay, Devolver. And on Game Pass for PC, we have Drake Hollow, which is a multiplayer game where you, quote, build and defend villages of vegetable folk from deadly feral beasts in the blighted world of the Hollow. Thanks for the weird weekly games, guys. And finally, we have the console wars for the month of October. 3 games over on PlayStation Plus versus Xbox Gold. Let me know who you think wins this month. First up, on PlayStation Plus, we have 2 titles this month. Need for Speed Payback, which, by the way, did you know there's been 24 different Need for Speed games? I haven't touched one since Need for Speed Underground, because honestly, give me some Riders on the Storm any day. And it's slightly depressing how many people won't understand that. But I digress. The second game is Vampire. Don't really have a joke lined up for that one, just Vampire. And over on Xbox Gold, in their usual staggered fashion, we have Slay Away Camp Butcher's Cut, available October 1st to October 31st. Maid of Sker, available October 16th to November 15th. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, available October 1st to October 15th. And finally, Costume Quest, available October 16th to October 31st. I have never heard of any of those games. I'm not trying to sway your decision, but let me know who you think won in the comments down below. But that is it from me this week. So of course, if you enjoyed the video, you found it somewhat helpful, a like rating would be appreciated. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next video. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. And as always, I shall see you in the next one.